I was gonna wear my glasses for this video, but you can see a lot of light reflection, so that's a bit of a fail. It's the first ever Buttons bookshelf, which is my new book club series. You get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car, woo! If you've been involved in the book club, we were reading Yes Please by Amy Poehler. Judging from your tweets and Instagrams, etc., it seems like you all really enjoyed the book, and spoiler, loved the book. I love Amy Poehler so much. I'm such a lemming. I would follow her off a cliff. I think she's so smart and funny and very insightful. At the end of this video, I'm gonna answer a few of your Twitter questions that have been tweeted to me under the hashtag #ButtonsBookshelf, and I'm going to announce the next book. So what I'm trying to say is stay tuned to the end of the video. I already went into this book thinking I'm going to love it because I try to read it with a really open mind and really try to digest what Amy is actually talking about. This woman has been through a lot of things that I have not been through, and it's really interesting to see her point of view on a lot of things. So obviously there's a lot of autobiographical stuff in here, lots of memories from her childhood. I especially liked all of the parts about her time on SNL because I just find it really interesting to see how someone goes from being a child to being on SNL. I just really like that time span of, and then I did this, and then I did that, and blah, 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 and then I ended up on SNL. And I'm personally really interested in comedy, and I loved when she was talking about her improv classes and just the whole sort of before, like pre-SNL. I really liked hearing about all those stories like on the road and the stories from the little shitty theater, and I really liked hearing about the more grungy side of things. There were many times where I got sidetracked reading this book because she would talk about a particular skit, you know, and I'd be like, I kind of remember that, but I don't really remember that. So I would put the book down and I would go look at the skit and I would just like find it so funny, and then I'd go on to another one and another one and another one, and next thing you know, I'm watching a podcast of like Seth Meyers for 2 hours, and I'm like, okay, just go back to the book. I didn't actually mind all of the references. I actually thought it made it more of like an experience to read it because you're not just sitting there reading a book and reading a story. She's actually referencing things that happened in, you know, pop culture, and it's fun to go back and look at it and just be like, that was so funny. That was such a genius thing. Because I love so many things, I'm not gonna pick all the things I love, but I'm gonna pick a few parts of the book that particularly stood out to me and things that I liked. So the first one was on page 164, and it was the part where she sat on George Clooney's lap. Basically, she's working on a little bit for the Golden Globes, and she says, so I sat on George's lap, and ever the pro, George asked me what kind of bit I was cooking up. I told him when they cut to me in the audience after announcing my nomination for Best Comedy Actress, I was going to act totally engrossed in talking to him. I told him I thought it would be funny if we were just flirting and laughing. He understood immediately and handed me a glass of champagne. I told him if I won, there was a very good chance I would kiss him hard on the mouth, and he responded, that's not a bad Sunday. As the camera cut to me, he whispered in my ear, the thing about making movies is, and then she says, there's a reason why George Clooney is considered the best, because he is. I'm not really sure why I liked that part so much. I think it's just neat that he's up for anything and she's up for anything, and they're just taking chances together. I think there's a little nugget of something there because it just shows you, just try it, just give it a little go and see. And I just thought that was really funny the way that worked out. The way she ends it is, she says, and you don't always have to win to get the pudding. And I think that's a lesson we can all learn, because I feel like in this day and age, everybody's trying to get stuff for me. I want to be the person people are looking at. I want to be the one who gets recognition. Amy was really good at pointing out the fact that you don't always have to be the only one to get the pudding to feel full. I just threw that in there. She works a lot with other people, and then they both get recognition. And the reason why her and Tina Fey are such good friends is because there's no competitiveness, there's no weirdness, there's no Amy being like, oh, well, Tina did this, so I'm gonna try to one-up her and do that. There's nothing like that. I feel like Amy and Tina, I mean, I'm really speculating here, but she does write about it in the book. Amy and Tina are really on the same playing field, and they really watch out for each other, and they really support each other. Not only as, you know, work colleagues, but as friends. And in my life, I've been surrounded by a lot of competitive people. And I think that is one character trait that I just cannot get over because I don't understand it. I would say that I'm not really a competitive person in general. And when I'm surrounded by competitive people, I'm just kind of like, why are you being like that? Like, there's enough cake to go around for everybody, or in this case, pudding. And I really liked what she was talking about with Tina. And I really liked that she talked about that quite a few times in the book, that you don't always have to have the spotlight on you to be successful. You can work with other people, you can support other people, and I try to do that as much as I can. I could probably do it more, but just try to support other people and what other people are doing, not to get anything yourself, just because it's a nice thing to do. And I think Amy is a lot like that. She does things because it's the nice thing to do, and I really respect that about her. I can't actually find the part in this book, my bookmark fell out, but it's the idea of good for you, not for me. And Amy talks a lot about girl on girl hate. And girl on girl hate is something I see every single day on this beautiful vessel we call the internet. And it makes me so sad. And the whole idea of good for you, not for me, is just kind of that, you know what? What you're doing is not something I would ever do. It's not something I would ever want to do, but it's working for you, so good for you, but it's not for me. And I'm not going to judge you for that. And I mean, it's a very optimistic outlook. I wish that more people thought like that. And I feel like it takes a long time to actually start thinking like that, because you have to totally change your mindset. And I've been guilty of it. I do it all the time, but I'm really consciously trying to stop doing that. In one of my last videos, someone asked me if I was gonna have kids anytime soon. And I was kind of like, hell no. Like, I'm not even thinking about that until I'm 30. And even then I'm not thinking about that. That's kind of what I was saying. And I think a lot of people kind of took that as like me judging people who had kids when they were younger, but that is so not the case. I have so many friends who had kids when they were younger, and I think it's what I'm just saying, good for you, not for me. I have no judgment about that. I really think good for you, not for me is something to live by. It's probably the best thing I took out of that book, and it really made me understand that everybody makes different life choices, and everybody has different reasons for it. You don't know why they've made these reasons for it, you know? So I hope that if you read this book, you felt the same as I did, because we could live in a much happier, woman-supporting, girl power world if we stopped being so judgmental about each other. I'm gonna answer some of your tweets. Thanks to everyone who used the Buttons Bookshelf hashtag. First question is by Sharon Weiss. What is your favorite, for lack of a better description, big ass quote from the book and why? So the big ass quotes were, I loved them. I just loved it. It really broke it down and it set you up for the next chapter. I mean, I love this one. Nobody looks stupid when they're having fun. I really loved this. Everybody is scared most of the time. I thought there was a lot of truth to that, because I mean, so many times I've met people who I really look up to and I think, you've got it going on, girl. And when I get to know them, I realize they have the same fears as I do. They're scared that nobody's gonna like them, and they're scared that, you know, things aren't gonna work out, or they're scared they're making the wrong decisions. And, you know, that goes for even the most famous people, like Amy was kind of talking about. Everybody is basically everybody's winging it, you know, and you have to realize that you're never ready for things. And, you know, that quote, do one thing every day that scares you. I mean, I think it's true. Nobody ever feels ready for stuff. I think I'm gonna go with this one. This is my favorite. Other people are not medicine. Stephanie Samuel tweeted me, and whenever she talks about Seth or Tina, it's just the sweetest. Amy has a heart of gold. I totally feel you on that. Kaylee says, can I just say the bottom of page 19 into 20 is my favorite sentence so far? And I haven't actually looked at this, so let me go look at this right now. 19 into 20. Okay. So Amy talks about whenever she goes into other people's houses, she has this like really strong urge and desire to look through people's stuff. And she actually does go through people's stuff. And this quote is, it started in my own house where I would go through every drawer and every pocket in my parents' room. Luckily, I didn't find much at home except for well-worn copies of Playboy that seemed positively charming compared to the up-close butt fisting that pops up on my computer these days when I'm trying to order salad tongs from Target. Another thing about Amy's book is like, it'll get into like a serious, like heartfelt moment, and then she'll just like pop one of those things in, and you're just like, yeah, you're a comedian. Veronica, I don't know if the W is a V, so I'm just gonna say Veronica. Do you have a demon? She talks about everybody having that inner voice, which she is like your inner demon telling you like, you know, oh, you're too fat, you're way fatter than those other people there, or your outfit's ugly, or you're not funny, or that guy would never go for you, things that are bringing you down. And she talks about kind of silencing that demon and how it's really difficult to do, but eventually you can kind of get there and it never goes away, but you can kind of silence it a little bit. And I think she says even demons have to sleep. And I think I've become better at silencing the demon. I mean, I'm definitely better at it now at 24 than I was at, you know, 18 or 17. I think everybody has a demon. Of course they do. I mean, even recently I went somewhere and I was like, oh my God, I'm so underdressed. Everybody here looks so much better than I do, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, no, I have a right to be here and I look damn good, you know? So it's hard. It's really difficult. Everybody has it. Even the hottest people in the world have these demons. So it's just something we all have to work on. Petya, hope I'm saying that right, she says, don't cry sexy. That is one of the funniest parts of the entire book. I won't ruin it for you in case you haven't read it, but I actually LOL'd when I read that. I was like, don't cry sexy. How much do you find it was important that she was so candid about life being not so fun at times? I think it was really important. I think it was really good that she did that. And I think in this like social media Instagram age where, you know, and people say to me all the time, you've got the perfect life, you know, it's nothing ever goes wrong, you know, and it's just this world we live in where people only show these highlights. Like you'll go to a party and take an Instagram and be like, at this amazing party, you know, before you've ever even spoken to anyone. And I think it's just, I think it's really sad. I guess because I'm kind of in it and people are saying that to me and I'm like, no, that's not true. I feel like I can look at other people's lives or other people's Instagrams and be like, that was the highlight of their day, you know? I'm sure something shitty happened to them this week or that day or, you know, whatever. I feel like I'm better at that, but I think it's really important to always let people know that, you know, life is not always rainbows and ponies. And if it was, you know, it would be boring. But I really like that Amy was candid and talking about things that she's going through are tough. So yeah, it's a balance. There's so much more to talk about with this video, but I think I'm gonna leave it here for now. And I have this little giveaway. My friend Fran, who's an illustrator, made these Buttons Bookshelf bookmarks. She made them. It says Buttons Bookshelf on the front and essiebutton.com on the back. So I'm gonna give away 4 on Twitter and 4 on this video. If you want to win one, just leave a comment down below. What did you think of Amy Poehler's book? Or leave me a suggestion about books I should read in the future. I'm quickly going to announce the next book, which is Wild, and I don't actually know that much about it. I know it's a movie. It has Reese Witherspoon in it. Head on over to my Twitter page at essie_button and follow me because I'm gonna be giving away a copy of Wild on there right now when this video goes up. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will hopefully see you in the next Buttons Bookshelf wrapping it up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! It is really lightweight, so it is kind of like a serum texture. It's not heavy, doesn't feel heavy on the skin, which is really good. And I've just been wearing it every single day this month.